The darkness outside pressed against the car windows like a thick, impenetrable veil. Rain drummed relentlessly on the roof, creating a disconcerting symphony that seemed to echo the turmoil in my mind. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, my knuckles pale against the leather. My decision to take the back roads on this rainy night was beginning to feel like a grave mistake. The narrow road stretched out ahead, its asphalt glistening with a sinister sheen, illuminated only by the dim glow of my headlights. The trees on either side of the road swayed ominously, their branches clawing at the sky as if yearning for release from their earthly confines. The faint outlines of old, crumbling structures emerged intermittently in the darkness, remnants of a forgotten town. My GPS had assured me that this was a shortcut to my destination, but it felt like a journey into a nightmare. I cursed myself for not checking the weather forecast. The rain showed no signs of abating, and the wipers worked tirelessly to clear the incessant deluge from the windshield. Visibility was limited, and my heart raced with each bend in the road, unsure of what lay ahead. The sensation of being watched, of unseen eyes peering from the shadows, gnawed at me. As I drove deeper into the desolate countryside, a chilling thought crept into my mind. I hadn't passed another car for miles. The isolation was unnerving, and I longed to see the reassuring glow of headlights approaching in the distance. But the road remained empty, except for the relentless patter of raindrops and the eerie whisper of the wind. My headlights suddenly flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced along the road. Panic surged through me, and I desperately tried to regain control of the car. The engine sputtered, and I cursed my old, unreliable vehicle. The car came to a shuddering halt, and I was left alone in the suffocating darkness. I fumbled for my phone, my trembling fingers struggling to unlock it. When the screen finally illuminated, I saw the dreaded no signal message mocking me. My heart sank as the realization hit me. I was stranded in the middle of nowhere, with no cell service and no idea which direction to go. The oppressive silence was shattered by a sound that sent a shiver down my spine. It was a soft, mournful wail, like a ghostly lament carried on the wind. I strained my ears, trying to locate the source of the sound. It grew louder, more desperate, echoing through the trees and filling the air with an unsettling unease. In the dim glow of my phone's flashlight, I stepped out of the car and peered into the darkness. My breath misted in the cold, wet air as I called out, "Hello? Is anyone there?" There was no response, only the relentless rain and the haunting wail that seemed to surround me. I felt a deep sense of foreboding, an instinctual urge to retreat to the safety of my car and lock the doors. But something compelled me to move forward, to follow the eerie sound that seemed to beckon me deeper into the woods. With each step, the trees closed in around me, their branches forming a canopy that blocked out the rain. The forest felt alive, teeming with unseen eyes that watched my every move. I stumbled over roots and fallen branches, my heart pounding in my chest. Finally, I emerged into a small clearing, and what I saw there froze the blood in my veins. In the center of the clearing stood a dilapidated, ancient-looking house. Its time-worn facade was barely visible beneath the encroaching vines and moss. It looked abandoned, but the wail that had drawn me here emanated from within. Against my better judgment, I approached the house. The door creaked open with eerie ease, as if inviting me inside. The interior was even more unsettling, with rotting furniture, cobwebs, and a pervasive odor of decay. The wailing sound grew louder, now unmistakably human. I followed the sound to a decrepit staircase that led to the basement. My flashlight revealed a small, dimly lit room, and in the corner sat a figure shrouded in tattered rags. It was a woman, her eyes empty and hollow, her wails echoing with a heartbreaking sadness. "Are you okay?" I asked, my voice trembling. She turned to look at me, her eyes locking onto mine. In that moment, I saw a depth of despair and anguish that chilled me to the core.
"Help me,"
she whispered. whispered, her voice a haunting plea. I took a step closer, my heart filled with sympathy and dread. "What happened to you?" But before she could answer, a sinister presence descended upon the room. Shadows twisted and contorted, and a malevolent force seemed to emanate from the very walls. The woman's wails turned into a blood-curdling scream as I watched in horror. I fled from the basement, sprinting through the decrepit house and out into the rain-soaked woods. Behind me, the woman's screams faded into the distance, but the feeling of malevolence pursued me, a relentless presence that refused to be shaken. Hours later, I stumbled upon a main road and was rescued by a passing motorist. I told them about the house and the woman, but when we returned to the spot, there was nothing there but an empty, overgrown field. To this day, I can't explain what happened that night. Was it a ghostly encounter, a figment of my imagination, or something far more sinister lurking in the darkness? I may never know, but I do know one thing. I will never take the back roads on a rainy night again.